Hello, my name is Lisa Jett, and I will be telling you the story of The Witch, a Russian fairy tale based on the Baba Yaga folk story from Andrew Lane's Yellow Fairy Book. Once upon a time, there was a peasant whose wife died, leaving him with twins. For some years, the poor man cared for the children, but at last he married again. However, the twins' new stepmother was cruel to them. All day she thought of nothing but how she could get rid of them. At last, an evil idea came to her, and one morning she said, "I'm going to send you to visit my granny, who lives in the dear little hut in the wood. You will have to work hard for her, but she will take good care of you." So the children left the house and entered the great gloomy wood with only a bottle of milk, a piece of ham, and a hunk of bread. The little sister, who was very wise for her years, said to the brother, "Our stepmother is not sending us to her granny, but to a wicked witch. We must be polite and kind to everyone, and never touch a crumb belonging to anyone else. Then someone might help us." Eventually the children saw in the thickest of the trees a little hut. Nervously they peeped inside, and there lay the witch, with her head on the threshold, a foot in each corner, and her knees pushed up, almost touching the ceiling. "Who's there?" she snarled. Though the twins were terrified, they answered politely, "Good morning, Granny. Our stepmother has sent us to serve you." "See that you do it well, then," growled the witch. "If I am pleased with you, I'll reward you. But if I'm not, I'll cook you in the oven." So saying, she set the girl down to spin yarn, and she gave the boy a sieve in which to carry water from the well, and she herself went out into the wood. The girl began weeping bitterly because she could not spin, but suddenly she heard hundreds of little feet, and from every hole in the hut mice came pattering, squeaking, and saying, "Little girl, why are your eyes so red? If you want help, then give us some bread." The girl gave them some of her bread. Then the mice told her that the witch had a cat, and the cat was very fond of ham. She would give the cat her ham, it would show her the way out of the wood, and in the meantime they would spin the yarn for her. So the girl set out to look for the cat, and as she was hunting about, she met her brother. He was in great trouble because she could not carry water from the well in a sieve, as it came pouring out as fast as he put it in. As she was trying to comfort him, they heard rustling of wings, and a flight of warrens lying on the ground beside them. The warrens said, "Give us some crumbs, then you need not grieve, for you'll find that water will stay in the sieve." Then the twins crumbled some of their bread on the ground. The warrens perked in the chirped. When they had eaten the last crumb, they told the boy to fill up the holes of the sieve and clay, and then to draw water from the well. So he did what they said, and carried the sieve full of water into the hut without spilling a drop. When they entered the hut, the cat was curled up on the floor. They stroked her and fed her with ham, and then said to her, "Puss, tell us how to get away from the witch." Cat thanked them for the ham, and gave them a pocket handkerchief and a comb. Then the cat told the children what they should do with them to escape. The cat scarcely finished speaking when the witch returned. "Well, you have done well enough for today," she grumbled. "Tomorrow you'll have something more difficult to do. If you don't do it well, straight into the oven you will go." Poor children, very frightened, and they lay down to sleep on a heap of straw in the corner of the hut. But they dared not close their eyes, and scarcely breathed. In the morning the witch gave the girl 2 pieces of linen to weave before night, and the boy a pile of wood to chop. Then the witch left them to their task and went out into the wood. As soon as she was out of sight, the children took the comb, handkerchief, and holding hands, ran and ran and ran. First met the witch's watchdog, who was going to chase them, but they threw the remains of their bread to him, and he ate it and wagged his tail. Then they were hindered by the birch trees, whose branches almost scratched them, but the little sister tied the twigs together with her hair ribbon, and they got past safely, came out onto the open fields. In the meantime, in the hut, the cat was busy weaving the linen. The witch returned to see how the children were getting on, up in the window, and said, "Are you weaving, my dear?" "Yes, Granny, I am weaving," answered the cat. Then the witch realized that the children had escaped, was furious, and shouted at the cat, "Why did you let the children leave the hut?" But the cat spat and answered, "I have served you all these years, and you never even threw me a bone. But the children gave me their own piece of ham." The witch was furious with the watchdog and birch trees because they had let the children pass. But the dog said, "Served you all these years, and you never gave me so much as a crust, but the children gave me a loaf of bread." And the birch rustled its leaves and said, "I have served you longer than I can say, and you never even tied a bit of twine round my branches." Children bound them up with their bright ribbon. So the witch saw there was no help to be got from her old servants, and she mounted her broom and set off after the children herself. Twins ran. They heard the sound of the broom close behind them. They remembered what the cat had told them, and threw the handkerchief over their shoulders. Instantly, a deep, broad river flowed behind them. It took the witch a long time to find a place to ride over on her broomstick, but at last she got across and continued the chase faster than before. As the children ran, they heard the broom close behind them. So quick as thought, they did what the cat had told them and threw the comb on the ground. In an instant, dense forest sprang up, in which the roots and branches were so closely entwined that it was impossible to force a way through it. When the witch came to it, she found that there was nothing for it but to turn round and go back to the hut. Tearing her hair with rage, the twins straight on till they reached their home. They told their father all that they had suffered, and he was so angry with stepmother that he drove her out of the house and never let her return. The children and their father lived happily ever after. So I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope it didn't scare you too much, and bye-bye.